Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony. Welcome to another edition of B&A Sports Talk. So, hope you guys have been enjoying the content on the channel. I've been trying to make it a little more interactive, but I realize a lot of the people that watch my videos aren't subscribed. So, I'm going to try to build the subscriber. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of making videos that kind of make me happy, and that's kind of working. Some videos hit and some videos don't, and I think that's kind of funny. But today I want to talk about something that I'm going to hit on one of my quick takes videos about Daniel Jones. I need to recollect all the opinions that I've had about Daniel Jones. I need to have a whole library. I probably do about this whole thing. I predicted him coming into the season 30 touchdowns, passing and running. So I was going 24 and 6, and then about 10 interceptions. Yeah, I made a point in the quick takes that when you look at a stat line, what Greg Jennings said, that Daniel Jones was a top 10 quarterback. Top 10 quarterbacks don't have that stat line. I don't care how bad the situation is. I don't care if it's all undrafted free agents that are on the on the offensive line, and on your side of the field there's lava. I don't really care. So Daniel Jones is not the guy. Here are some things that I think led to the downfall. Why he's not good. First of all, throwing receivers open. He has to see the receiver to hit him open. He's too structured, and that kind of doesn't work. You have guys in the NFL, like even Sam Howell, that throw his receivers open. You saw with Terry McLaurin. Now, Daniel Jones has to have the set play. This is who you go to. This is the best option, and then that's it. We saw with Jalen Hyatt coming out of the Arizona halftime. Jalen Hyatt just said, "Throw deep to me." And Daniel Jones threw deep to him. He can't make those decisions well. And he said something last year that kind of perked up my ears a little bit. He said, "I know what wins in the NFL now." And that was being an ultra-conservative quarterback. And there's a truck headed my way. I like doing these in a walk and talk fashion. So I'm like, sometimes a big truck or a motorcycle comes in and I have to re-record. But, we're good. Those are the kind of the main things, and obviously the coaching staff put more on his plate and he couldn't do it. I don't think if we gave him a number one wide receiver he'd be good. The only way he'd be good is if we give him all the time in the world to throw, and that's pretty much it, and we'd score 17, 20 points a game, and that's not sustainable in the NFL. You want to be able to have a quarterback that can score points. Now, Patrick Mahomes, you see this year, he's the offense isn't as good, but it's still scoring 30 to 40 points a game at some points. You could say, let's go 21 against Miami, really 14 against Miami if you don't count the defensive touchdown that they scored. So it's good for the Chiefs because they have a top 3 defense, and now everything is starting to become unhinged. And what you realized in the beginning of the season also was some guys are like, this quarterback can't play. People in the locker room love DJ, whatever it is, but people on the outside, the people that look at his film are like, oh. Of course, on the team, it's an all-team mentality, and you're going to ride with him. Because especially in recent past, he won you a playoff game, but he got shut out versus the Eagles. Shut out. So that's not really a good look. Tom Brady didn't get shut out. I'm not saying he should be Tom Brady, but I'm saying it just didn't work out. And it's interesting now because we're going to continue to have the conversations. I realized this the other day. We have 6 months until the NFL draft. We're halfway to the NFL draft. There's 12 months out of the year. Do the math. So what are we going to do a quarterback? Now, I have a couple theories. I want to do kind of like a hypothesis a little bit before diving into any research and looking at guys, even though my opinion doesn't really matter. I don't really know too much of what I'm talking about. Even though my quarterback rankings in the past have been pretty good based on research and different things like that, and that have been perfect. Desmond Ridder, I thought he was pretty good, but turns out maybe not. And I like Sam Howell more than the rest of the people did. But, okay, as far as what we should do, what pick are we going to end up at? We play the Patriots, we play Green Bay. Those are bad teams. We probably win one of those. Tommy DeVito created a little bit of a spark. Matt Barkley. I say our final record is going to be 3-14, 4-13. And I think the Arizona Cardinals end up with 4 wins too, and then we would win the tiebreaker. I mean that was bad for us. So, and then the Panthers are just going to suck because I bet them this weekend. It doesn't seem like they're going to be good. So I predict at this point we're going to have the 3rd overall pick. All right, do the math. Caleb Williams, Drake May. That's it. And as far as Caleb Williams, there are a couple things that bother me. First of all, he's not this big quarterback. He's 6 foot, barely 6'1", and I have, believe it or not, done a good job of not watching Caleb Williams. He can make all the plays. He can run around. He can do all those things. That's great. Playing out of structure. It reminds me of a couple quarterbacks. Zach Wilson, run around, doing everything. But the thing is, at least Caleb Williams plays actual teams, and he can show that he can score and may not have the best surroundings. And Caleb Williams won a Heisman. Zach Wilson wouldn't even think about winning a Heisman. So those are a couple things. But his personality in New York would not work. I know, and I made the joke about this, Daniel Jones has everything perfect except for the ability to actually play football. He's good with the media. He's good with everything, not really making a lot of noise, good teammate, all those things, but can't succeed in the NFL. I have the pre-opinion, without watching any film and while being a film expert, so I don't see why it would matter anyway, with this guy is going to be a head case in New York. He's hugging his mom. His dad's speaking for him. He needs to grow up. With Joe Burrow, he didn't let his dad make any decision, and it was good. You know, with Trevor Lawrence, there were some things before the draft, and maybe we're nitpicking like with Trevor Lawrence that said, oh, football's not the be-all and end-all for Trevor Lawrence. So maybe there's a little bit of that aspect as well, where you say, okay, we're just picking hairs here. Another thing is, from what I hear, is that he doesn't play in a well-structured offense. Now, you can run around all you want. That's an added bonus, but you have to be able to throw and deliver from the pocket. And as people watch film, and as I watch people watch film, and as I watch a little bit of film, I guess, can he pocket pass? We'll see how he does for the rest of the season. And leading his team, are they able to scrounge out some wins? Is he able to be a leader, or is he just a crybaby? That crybaby thing is a real thing to me. It's not nothing. Obviously, everything's something, at least. But the whole crybaby thing is not me. And then, as far as everyone else, I watched Penix versus Bo Nix. I was a little bit intoxicated at a bar. I was drinking. And what I realized Bo Nix does is just throw screens. And then when he can push the ball downfield a little bit when asked. So that's interesting. Apparently, he can run a little bit when asked to do it, but he hasn't been really asked to do it. He's been executing the offense. But I just saw a bunch of screens. And I saw Bo Nix in 2019 with Auburn. And he was a freshman at that point, one of his first games starting, and the Florida defense just rattled him. And I'm not judging anybody off of one game, and they scored some points that game. I just don't trust him as a quarterback. Bo Nix doesn't... All right, picture a top 10 quarterbacks in the league. Bo Nix. Does that seem like a top 10 quarterback name? I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. Caleb Williams kind of does. Is that the best QB analysis? No, I just don't think that Bo Nix is a good quarterback. I watched him one game. And, he's riding up the scores. We see guys, and I think Mac Jones is a good quarterback, but 56-7 on a good team, Oregon, a lot of weapons, good offensive line. We see quarterbacks thrive in those situations. Are they good NFL quarterbacks? Is Kyle Trask a good NFL quarterback? We'll see. I have hope. But so I'm out on Bo Nix. I'm out on Caleb Williams. And then if you're the Giants and you're drafting 3, I'm not trading up for Caleb. Definitely not. Again, that's my opinion right now, subject to change based on information. Drake May, I hear really good things about him. That's the guy I think you're lucky if he falls down to you. And then I made the joke that he reminds me a little bit too much of Zach Wilson by the way he looks, kind of like a frat boy. He was from BYU, Utah, Mormon kid. That's anything wrong with Mormons, but he has that kind of vibe to him. I don't know. I really haven't watched any of them, but it seems good. So right now, I think Drake May, don't trade up to 1, even though you have that second pick now with Leonard Williams. Don't trade up there. And then as far as other quarterbacks, I like Michael Penix. It's just the ACLs and the shoulders are going to hurt him. And I don't think at this point you can draft him with anything besides like a Will Levis early second-round pick type thing. And other quarterbacks, and I don't think he's going to fall there potentially. We'll see. Because sometimes medicals really drop people down like DeJuan Jones and even, what's his name? Carson Strong? What was his name? The guy who got drafted by the Eagles. He was undrafted free agent. The guy from Nevada the other year. So, the second round, you can go after a guy like Hartman, who's a leader. You definitely can't pay a free agent a lot of money. That's what I'm thinking now. Like a Kirk Cousins, imagine 2 quarterbacks that are coming off injuries on the roster. You can't do that. Even though Kirk Cousins would be a pretty good option, but he's coming off the ACL. He's not really that mobile. We have a awful offensive line. And you also have to think about Brian Daboll, what quarterbacks you'd like to use. Overall, it's an interesting conversation. So overall, I don't think you can go after the highest You can't go after a free agent that's going to be highly paid. You can't trade for Kyler Murray like a lot of people are potentially suggesting. The odds say like 6-1 that he's on the Giants. Okay, good luck with that. And I want to pay a guy. I think Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll should identify the quarterback that they want. A quarterback that they may even be like a Zach Wilson type, where they see the future in him, like a Justin Fields, where they see a lot of future in him and they think that they can fix him. That'd be interesting to see what happens there. Maybe to trade with the Bears. I don't know. If the Bears want to go for a quarterback, just pick a guy that you want, that's young, that will develop, that's not broken already. And what they did with Josh Allen needs to be mentioned. You know, he's good, and ever since he left, he kind of feels like he's been falling off just a little bit as far as his like ceiling and everything like that. But yeah, so those are my feelings. I wouldn't be adverse right now. I haven't watched anything of Ole, the guy from Penn State. Draft him at pick number 3 and put him at right tackle and switch Neal to right guard, and all of a sudden you have like 4 good pieces on the offensive line you feel good about, kind of, maybe. We'll see how Evan Neal develops, and we'll see what you want with left guard. Josh Azuda doesn't seem like he's going to be it because he's constantly injured. But yeah, so that's it. And I'm not a Marvin Harrison fan. I think he's but people think, I don't think he's any better than Jalen Waddle. I don't think he's better than Jamar Chase, even though I didn't love Jamar Chase coming out. I don't think he's any better than Devonta Smith. People are acting like he's like the next biggest thing, and that's just because of his name. So Marvin Harrison would be all right. I'm not saying it would be a bad pick, but it wouldn't move this team forward. Although it would be a good pick. You have Harrison, you have Darren Waller, Hyatt, maybe Shepard and whoever, some other band of misfits with Wandale. That would be a pretty good wide receiver core. Just pick somebody that's good. And I said that in 2020 with the Andrew Thomas draft. I'm like, just pick somebody that's good. All right, so those are my pre-draft thoughts. Daniel Jones will be back next year, but it'll be kind of like a weird / phase-out year. You can't really picture how that's going to exactly look, but yeah. So thank you guys for listening and watching. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.